Alright guys, we are back and I'm going to be doing another 1v1 with Nissa's deck. This is the last one I'm going to do, probably, for a while, just because I have almost the entire deck, and one land hands are never a good idea to keep, and this looks like a much better hand, so we're going to go ahead and keep it, and I'm actually going to phase out real quick to make sure that my Fraps recording settings are right. So I will be back in just a minute. Alright guys, sorry about that intro. It was probably a little quiet because I was recording off the microphone on the laptop and not off the one that's on my head. So, we are back now, and it looks like we're playing a 60 card deck, which is good. It should be a good matchup now, hopefully. No need to draw a card yet. We're going to go ahead and get out a beater. Try and get some damage in there. Hopefully get some good power going. We'll probably play him next just to get the extra land, thin the deck a little bit. But a lot of it depends on what goes on here. So making him a 4/3 is probably not what I want it to see, but no big deal. We'll make it work. All right, another land. We'll get another guy out, another beater out, so he swings 4, we'll swing 4 back. And that sounds good to me. And then we'll probably try and get, hopefully we can get another 4 so we can play Zuri. And then kind of block that, chump block that every turn. Yeah, it's a bad thing for him to have. Well, at least not yet. It isn't, but that's right. We have our own smaller version of that, don't we? It's called a heedless one, but I don't want to play the heedless one yet because it's very small. So we're gonna go ahead and play this guy first and see what we can draw. I probably shouldn't have even played a land yet, but the game taps mana so bad sometimes, and it didn't matter, so go ahead and play that. I probably want to have a Zuri out before I play the heedless one, just in case he's got an arrest in his hand. So that's probably a good idea on our part, is to wait a little bit on the heedless one, just so we can get a Zuri out. I actually played an elf deck the other day at a Friday Night Magic that played Zuri. Copperhorn Elf, which says when it attacks, untap each other creature you control, which is really, really good. I don't think I can stress that enough. Now hopefully it leaves open as much mana as possible. Well, I actually think he has to draw an answer here, or I might very well come close to beating him. Just one turn like that, because the Zuri is kind of broken. That doesn't do anything for you, right? Oh, I guess it gives you +1. You can swing 6, and I'll swing back and almost kill you. Sounds good to me. Your turns are very quickly running out. Now, proper mana says I leave 2 green open. Wow, there we go. It actually tapped for right mana. And Fraps is killing me for some reason. And the settings are actually right. Oh, and there we go. Good game. So, preferences on decks. In a format like this, it's very, 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 very important to have removal. I cannot stress that enough. In sealed, in draft, in any type of format where you don't pick your cards, it is very important that you have removal. The white deck has very little. That's one of the reasons I don't play it very much online. I mean, I screw around with it, but again, I very rarely keep hands that don't have the we'll go ahead and go into the deck so I can actually show you what I'm talking about. And then once I unlock all the decks, I'm actually working on unlocking all of them one at a time. I've got Chandra's unlocked, which you guys didn't see me unlock because it was just a whole bunch of me doing 1v1s against Chandra. And they were really stupid and boring. But, like, here's my version of the deck. I'm playing 1 Brave the Elements. I'm playing 2 Elite Vanguards. I actually think I have 2 sided out. I have 2 sided out. Now, I know you're looking at that going, what? Wow, this is actually way wrong, I feel like. Yeah, I don't even know what's going on with this. Because these should not be in there. Let me go ahead and... What happened to my deck? I feel like you should be in there. You should be in there. You should be in there. This is actually the proper way to sideboard in a tournament. At least, preferably, this is how you're supposed to do it. Is when you go up against a game, you have a 15-card sideboard. So, say you're a green deck and you're playing like a green elf deck like I just played against an mono red deck. And obviously, not a good idea because of pyroclasms and whatnot. And some process is going on in my computer that's really lagging really bad. And I don't know what it is. But I'm just going to go ahead and talk through it because my voice will come out fine and this will just be skippy. So it doesn't matter. But, you know, so you obviously have a lot of cards that you don't want in the deck. But you have cards that you don't need in your sideboard. But the best thing to do is to just grab the whole 15-card sideboard, shuffle it into your deck, and go through and grab 15 cards you don't want. That way, you say, hey, this card outweighs this card. This card outweighs this card. I should have this in my deck. I shouldn't have this. It's just a good way to look at it. I mean, it's a good idea to have a strategy when you go in and say, if I play Burn, this is my sideboard. If I play something, this is my sideboard. But every once in a while, you'll see something that isn't common in another, and that's completely out of the ordinary, like a Ball Lightning in a mono red deck. Not that that's out of the ordinary, but maybe you weren't expecting it in the format because you looked at the top 8 decks for the past 50 tournaments and never saw a Ball Lightning in a mono red. So you were like, I'm not worried about a Ball Lightning, and then something comes in like a Ball Lightning, and you're like, well, I need to pull in a big defense creature, maybe like a Leatherback Baloth. And a Ball Lightning, for those of you who don't know, is a 3 mana cost, 6/1, haste, trample, that says at the end of turn, sacrifice it. 3 red mana. And Leatherback Baloth is a 4/5 that says he's a 4/5, and he costs 3 green. So, in a mono green deck, he's easy to play, and he's a good answer to big burn spells. I mean, 2 burn spells, you waste 2 burn spells on a Leatherback Baloth, and you're guaranteed to win. So, we're going to go ahead and take out these Glory Seekers. I don't want them in there. They're okay, but they're not amazing. There are a lot of artifacts and a lot of enchantments that are really good. Now, granted, there are some decks that don't play any. Like Nissa's deck, I don't think plays any artifacts and or enchantments. So I'm actually going to cut down to 1 of those. And that's probably a good idea. That's probably more than I need to cut. I'm going to cut that. Where's this Paladin at? I saw him. He is a glorified 2/2 for 2 in this deck. If I'm not playing all of the equipments, like every single one, and I don't have every single one on the floor, and they're just worthless. And these are gone. I don't know what those are doing. So that's obviously something I want back in there. That's something I want out. I think I had both Seer Angels out, actually. And I'm trying to look at this and see what I would keep in here. But I think the important thing is probably to look at my curve. There was probably a reason that there were 2 of those guys in there. And like I said, this shouldn't be in there. I mean, he's awesome. Don't get me wrong. But you basically say, if you have more creatures than me, you choose war, you beat me. Or, I have more creatures than you, I'm going to choose war and I beat you. But he costs 7 mana. 7 mana. How many games have you seen me hit 7 mana with this deck is the better question. So, Again, I like Seer Angel a lot, but I don't play Seer Angel just because you have better cards that cost almost the same amount of mana. I mean, she cost 5 for a 4/4. 5 mana for a 4/4 Flying Vigilance. Hello, 5 mana. But you obviously have a lot of creatures. This haste equipment is actually okay, but I feel like, you know, looking through here, keeping one of those in, you might even want to go up to 2. Just depends on, you know, what you're seeing a lot of people play. This is a great card. Don't ever take this out. It says whenever equipped creature becomes blocked by a creature, you may draw 2 cards. 2 cards every time your creature's blocked. It says, I am unblockable. You put that on a core duelist with a machete, they either block it, you kill a creature and you draw 2 cards, or they take like 6. Now tell me when that is a bad scenario, that they take 6 or they let you draw 2 cards. And that's even if they chump block. If they block to kill it, you're probably killing 2 creatures and drawing 4 cards. 4 cards. But this should be, you know, the general basis of the deck. You know, you might even want to cut one of these, and I probably will, and go back up this core outfitter and this paladin. And that's just because, you know, in the odd event that you do get it, I mean, it's better than a 2/2 that has no abilities, because you're playing mono white and you don't really have to worry about the struggle to get the mana. But Brave the Elements is one of the best cards. You do not want to take that out. There's probably like a few little things that you could cut. Like, I feel like this is so-so in the deck, but obviously if you grab the armor and just drop it, you win. But you got 6 mana, 6 mana, 5 mana, 5 mana, 3 mana. So like we have this very steep curve, like this jump to the curve. But the 4 cost spells that we have like Harmless Assault, which is okay. And it's actually probably a very playable spell, because like obviously if the person that I just beat was playing Harmless Assault, I could have swung all out with my elves. He would have Harmless Assaulted and then swung back and hit me for what could have been a lot if he had more creatures out. But no, that's just the nature of Nissa's deck, is it just kind of explodes. But I think I unlocked all of Nissa's deck, but I'm not really going to go through that one right now. This is what I want here. And I just kind of wanted to show off what that deck should look like, because it doesn't have very many answers. But I'm going to go ahead and do some more games, because that one was relatively short. And like I said, as soon as I unlock all the decks, I'm going to go through and tell you guys exactly what I think with each deck, all the way through back up to Gideon's. So thank you guys for watching. If you could leave a rating, it really helps me out a lot. It helps other people find it, more people to the channel. The sooner I get sponsored, the sooner I can do MTGO videos and actually do standard games on there and show you guys what standard play looks like. And again, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you later.